So we're on to question 2. Question 2 is a probability question. Some people will just move on past this and say this isn't for me, because some people I know, probability, they're always a bit nervous of it because they're nervous. Will they understand it? Will they be sure that the answer they've written is correct? But what I would say to students is, you know, the probability questions can often be very quick questions. So if you can do them, you're going to have plenty of time to do an additional question at the end. So therefore, the risk of taking the probability question, I think, is very low. A bag contains 4 red marbles and 6 blue marbles. 3 marbles are selected at random without replacement. What is the probability that at least one of the marbles is red? Okay, so with a probability question, I always advise students to read it a couple of times. There's no replacement, that's important. Okay. What I always say to students then is this. With probability, first you work out the logic, then you work out the maths. So the probability of having at least one red is 1 minus the probability that all 3 marbles are blue. The probability that they're all blue is 6 over 10, which is the probability that the first is blue, times 5 over 9, which is the probability that the second is blue, given that the first is blue, times 4 over 8, which is the probability that the third is blue, given that the first 2 were blue. And when I multiply those together, it's 1 over 6. And the reason it's multiplied is because we're using the word and. So it's the first is blue, and the second is blue, and the third is blue. So that's 1 over 6. The probability that at least one is red is then 1 minus the probability that they were all blue. So we get my answer of 5 over 6. And that was 10 marks. Find the probability that Maura wins this game. Well, what is this game? Maura and Sarah are playing a game. They take turns throwing 2 dice. So 2 dice. The game is won by the first player to throw a double 6, so a 6 followed by a 6. Well, we know the probability of rolling a 6 is 1 over 6. The probability of rolling a 6 and a 6 in 2 separate dice is 1 over 6. Times 1 over 6 is 1 over 36. That's 5 marks. Find the probability that Maura wins on her 10th throw. Give your answer correct to 3 decimal places. Well, with this question, what we're saying, the Maura wins on her 10th throw. Well, what that means is that both Maura and Sarah both have 9 failures in a row, if you want to say it like that they failed to win on their first 9 throws. The probability that you're successful, that you roll a double 6, is 1 over 36, as we know. So that's like success. So if you want to say, then that implies failure is 1 minus that, so it's 35 over 36. So the probability that Maura will roll 9 times in a row and not have a double 6, and then Sarah will also be doing the same each turn, one turn after another. Well, that would be 18 failures in a row, and again implying multiply. Then we're saying that Maura wins on her 10th throw. So when we're saying and, we're saying multiply. So it's 1 over 36. So 35 over 36 to the power of 18 times 1 over 36. We get it correct to 3 decimal places, and that's 0.017 for 5 marks. What is the probability that Maura wins the game on her first or second throw? Well, the probability that she wins on the first, we know, is 1 over 36. The probability that she wins on the second is similar to the last question, that she wins on for Maura to win on her second, Maura would have to lose or not get a double 6 the first time around. Sarah would have to do the same. So it's 35 over 36 times 35 over 36. And then Maura would have to win by getting the double 6 on her second throw. So it's 35 over 36 times 35 over 36 times 1 over 36. When I put these all together, I get 2521 over 4456. Why am I adding? Because it uses the word or. So it's the first case when she wins on her first throw, or the second case when she wins on the second throw. Here's my answer. That was 10 marks, and that's the question done. So with the probability questions, sometimes people will be a bit worried, have they got it, haven't they got it? But what I'd say to you is, in the case where you have a lot of choice this year, I think for questions like this, they're worth doing because they probably won't take you the full requirement of the time, and you'll have time to do an extra question at the end. Okay, let's see what question 3 is.